Hey everybody, welcome to the Deep Focus Show. I'm Aiden,
I'm Tavi.
and today we're going to be talking about our rankings of the Mission Impossible films. So, yeah, what's kind of your background with these movies?
Yeah, as yeah, I'm not even sure what was my first one. I saw like Mission Impossible 1 multiple years ago, but I'm not sure was it before or after Ghost Protocol. And I saw that in theaters as well as Rogue Nation, but somehow I didn't go to Fallout.
Yeah,
That was a mistake, I gotta admit. But and now I just watched Dead Reckoning like a couple of days ago.
yeah,
Um, Always enjoyed what I've seen, and but yeah,
yeah.
fun series.
For me, I think I saw Rogue Nation first, probably when it was in theaters. I think I would have seen it then. And then I went like back and watched all the ones before, and then I caught Fallout in theaters and now Dead Reckoning Part One. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, you want to go first or should I? I'm good either way.
yeah, I'm I'm
Okay,
fine either way.
I can start. Okay, so my number seven, my least favorite. Um, I don't think I made like much of an effort to hide this, but it's the third one, Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah,
I don't think this is a bad movie by any means, but it's just like the one I come back to the least. I feel like I get what they were going for, like after how silly and ridiculous Mission Impossible 2 was, they made it like very grounded, very realistic, but I kind of feel like that made it not a lot of fun. And there's still a lot of fun like set pieces, but so many scenes are just like dark and shaky camera and like it's a very overbearing experience at times. But I really like Philip Seymour Hoffman. I like having him as the villain. He's definitely the standout for me. I think and I do think Tom Cruise does a good job. And I like that this mission we get introduced to Simon Pegg, who is such a like an important part of the later movies. So I definitely like appreciate what this movie kind of did for the franchise, but it's just the one that if I'm watching all of these, it's the one that I'm most likely to skip or not really want to watch. But I don't think it's bad by any means, so I'd probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5. I think I would give it a 3 if it wasn't for Philip Seymour Hoffman being a great villain in this movie. So yeah, that's my bottom Mission Impossible 3.
yeah, yeah. I knew that. Yeah. um, my bottom is Mission Impossible 2, and why is it my bottom placement? Basically, I think the villain is pretty weak, actually. I don't really find him scary or anything. And I don't know, some side characters also seem a bit thin to me. And it's very over stylized. I know it's a John Woo film, but it's almost starting to get a bit annoying at sometimes. And with all the, I guess some of the action scenes are pretty cool, but I don't know, was it's missing some like cool thrills, maybe some heist scene maybe would have been cool. But I'm not exactly remember does it actually have a heist scene or
It
is just
it kind of does when he like goes into the lab to get the sample and he like goes down through the top of the building. But it's
oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah. But compared to the what first film had, it's I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think it's
nowhere
the same
close.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mission Impossible 2 feels very of its era and not always in the best way possible, I don't think. And even the music is sometimes a bit very late 90s. And but it's not the worst thing ever. It's it's kind of fun actually, but I'm kind of also like, how much should I enjoy this sometimes? And this rock climbing scene at the beginning is pretty cool, and I can kind of see why they made the third one quite different to this. And but Tom Cruise looks very cool with his long hair. Very handsome. Yeah. So it's a 2.5 for me, but I don't know, it's the best
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I'll talk about that one now. My number six is Mission Impossible 2. This is like
Yeah.
the ultimate, just like guilty pleasure. I don't think it's a very good movie, but like, goddamn, is it fun to watch? You know, there's so many just baffling
Mm.
choices. Like Limp Bizkit does the theme song for this one. I think like 50% of the movie's in slow motion. It's totally ridiculous. Like I can in no way can I defend this as like a great movie or even like a good movie, but it's just so much fun. Like the rock climbing scene, I just love that scene. I love the way it's shot, and it's such a crazy stunt to do, you know, like free climbing in like the desert and shit. It's insane. And like that
Mm.
final action scene is so ridiculous where they drive at each other with motorcycles and then jump off and hit each other in midair. It's totally ridiculous, but it's just so much fun. I could turn this movie on and I would not be in a bad mood watching it. Like I'll give it like 4 stars out of 5. I can't say it's like a great movie, but I really think it's a lot of fun. And I kind of like, you know, Hans Zimmer's doing the score, and when it's not Limp Bizkit, it's good, it's pretty good music that's playing. And I like that. And I kind of like how over stylized it is at points. It just feels like so excessive, the most year 2000 thing imaginable. So yeah, 4 stars.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun, but I get all of the criticism people have of it.
Yeah. I think the opening like stunt is somewhat crazy in a way because it's basically just him having a vacation, and it's not like a
Yeah,
end of the film sequence
yeah,
or
it's not even
something.
really part of the plot. It's just they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to do that stunt.
But so we're flipped. My number six is the third one, and um, well, Ethan Hunt is back, but now he's a married man, and I would probably say it's the most boring Mission Impossible film for me. Um, but I do think there are some positive elements to the film. Like you said it, Philip Seymour Hoffman, great actor and pretty perfect casting, I would say. And it gives us Benji, of course, played by Simon Pegg. And yeah, he's just very funny in these movies. And but it's also he's very funny, but it's also very important character and just not like a comedic relief kind of thing. And um I kind of like the idea of mixing personal and professional life of Ethan Hunt. So it gives some stakes to the story, but I'm not exactly sure do I really actually like their chemistry in this one. And um, I'm not also sure how I feel about the like head explosives or what those
It's
pills.
insane.
I don't know.
I hate that. I hate that scene.
And they're used basically twice because they also planted to Ethan Hunt in the end. And um, I just find it kind of not very enjoyable, but kind of and I think way more serious than it should be. And it doesn't have the fun elements also that has the newest installments. But I guess it's kind of a transition between 2 and 4 also giving well Benji and yeah, I don't know, like I would give it this probably 3 stars. I guess it's I guess it has the very good villain and stuff, but I don't know, would I watch it again soon?
Yeah.
Actually, so maybe 3.
Yeah, I get that. So yeah, my number 5, I'm gonna go with Mission Impossible 1, the one that started it all. And like this is I think a really great one to start out the movies with. I think it's definitely better than 2 and 3, and I definitely think the standout is the Langley heist where he is floating in midair and it's just it's so tense. It's such a good sequence. Um, I think obviously some of it is kind of dated, like you have like the 90s internet, and which is just funny. Like he finds the villain by typing in their name.com and that works. Like there's just some very funny stuff like that. And but I like all the twists and turns. Like I think it's a very good. It's kind of the most out of all of the movies. It's the most like a detective film almost because it's like he's unraveling this mystery, and it's kind of like a whodunit. I like that. It's a different thing, and I just and especially like for this kind of movie, I think it's cool that already on the first one they're already taking such big risks, like Brian De Palma directing. The writer of Chinatown wrote the script, and like a lot of stuff like that. I think that's cool, and I really like Tom Cruise and all the supporting characters. And obviously, you see Ving Rhames as Luther for the first time, and he's in all of these, and he's a really great side character. And yeah, just I think this one starts out the movies in just a really great way. I probably give it like a 4.5. I really like this one.
Yeah, I actually thought it would be higher for you, but I have it as number 5 as well. Um, yeah, I had seen this one before, but like it's been a very long time, like at least maybe 12 years or something, and I actually remember it to be more serious, but it was like surprisingly um I don't know if goofy the right word, but it like I think it works for its charm, and maybe sometimes I was cringing some delivery or some dialogue. I don't know, a little bit, um, but I don't know. Maybe this is the closest to the TV series. I don't know the series, so but yeah, there was it's a fun movie. Like there were some moments I was maybe questioning a bit, but later they were explained or it was a twist or some. I think there's very quite a bit of twists in this movie, and sometimes I was like, "Wait, is that the villain now?" Or but and like I remember talking about this already with you, but there's like the first mission in the beginning, and everything goes wrong, and I kind of feel like some of those deaths could have been avoided or at
Yeah,
least
for
tried to
sure.
be avoided. I don't know. Do you remember the elevator scene?
Yeah, he just like stood up and like let himself get.
Yeah,
He
he
didn't even
didn't even
die.
try. I was like, what? Well, but yeah, the most iconic scene is the like heist scene in the CIA offices. I don't know, and that's very well done actually, and it's really puts you in your edge of your seat, and I think it's the best scene of all the original trilogy actually. And
Yeah, I agree.
but I don't know, I could have like that more because I enjoyed that more than the actual ending with the train. I think
Yeah,
it goes a
me
bit
too.
overboard.
Yeah,
And I was really confused that like after the heist scene, there was still like 30, 40 minutes left. Like,
yeah.
what's happening now? But and the change sequence, there's some I think it goes a bit overboard and some of those effects have maybe past their prime. And I don't find it to be the easiest to follow for me, but it's still pretty enjoyable. It's a 3.5, so it's a good movie.
Nice. Yeah, well, as a super fan from here on out, I'm giving all of these 5 stars. So that tells you how big of an MI like fanboy I am. But my number four favorite is going to be Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I really love this one. I think it was maybe the second one I watched after Rogue Nation. And just I just think it's awesome. It's kind of like the first one of the kind of new MI series in a way. Like it's the first modern Mission Impossible movie, and it's where you really start to get the amazing stunts. I definitely think the highlight is the Burj Khalifa climbing. It's so cool. And it's part of such a good sequence. Like it's like a 30-minute sequence when they're in Dubai, and there's so many moving parts, like so many little action scenes, suspenseful scenes. It's just such a good movie. And you get a bigger role for Simon Pegg with Benji. And I think the one thing that holds this back for me from being in my top three is that this is the one where Luther has the smallest role. He kind of only shows up at the end, and I like it better when he's like part of the main team. But besides that, I like everything they did about this movie. They have Jeremy Renner's character. He's not my favorite, but I think he works all right in this movie and in Rogue Nation. But I can see kind of why they didn't bring him back later. But I think he's fine. And Tom Cruise is really cool in this. He brings back the long hair from Mission Impossible 2, but this time the movie's better to go along with it. So yeah, 5 stars for Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, these next four are pretty tough to rank, and I think they're very consistent. I think
Yeah.
they're almost have a bit of a formula maybe, but the formula works. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say number four is Rogue Nation, um, 2015, and yeah, it's a very good film. The opening stunt with the um airplane and is very exciting and dangerous, and like I just remember um I think they really marketed that. I think it was in the
Yeah.
trailers and such, and people were like, whoa. Maybe that's one of the reasons we went to see it. But and Rebecca Ferguson is in this movie, and she's great. And just I think the problem for me is I don't know why, but when I'm thinking of this movie, this is a movie where I'm like, what happened in this movie the most? I'm enjoying it when I'm watching it, but when I start to think these movies, I'm like, I remember the airplane scene and meeting. There's like the um Tom Cruise's character Ethan Hunt is captured and he's in that class. Cage, Cage. I don't know what was it, but and it has terrific action. This is the first Christopher McQuarrie film, and like yeah, I don't know. Like these are very hard to actually talk about because, but I'm gonna stick it with my number four, Rogue Nation. It's a 4-star film. There's it like even if it's 4 stars, it's in my mind. It's a very good film, and it's still I would rewatch it.
Yeah,
Maybe I should because I'm kind of struggling to what is happening in this movie, but like and I actually also like the villain Solomon Lane
yeah,
who appears in the Fallout 2, and yeah, but it's still a fun movie to watch, and
yeah.
yeah, recommended.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about that one now because my number three is Rogue Nation. This movie, I think what I like about this is I like just all the different set pieces so much. Like I really like obviously the plane at the beginning is so much fun. I really love the
Mm,
whole sequence at the like opera house in Austria where they have the
mm.
assassins. That's so cool. And obviously this is the first one with Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa, and she's like one of my favorite characters in these movies. I really like her.
Oh, the water scene was it in this one?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that
that's
is awesome.
that's one of my favorites. Yeah, the whole holding his breath. I when I saw that, I think I was like 11, and I was so freaked out by that because I was like,
Mm.
Jesus, like. But that's an
Oh
awesome
yeah,
scene where he has to hold his breath in the crazy tank of water. That's really awesome, and I love that part of the movie. And then it goes into the car chase afterwards, which is a lot of fun. And I think the ending is pretty cool where they trap Lane in the glass box. And I think Solomon
uh,
Lane's one of my favorite villains in these movies because I like him in this and I like him in Fallout. And I like kind of how he has the an arc that goes over both movies. I think that's cool. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Rogue Nation as my number three, and I'm gonna give it 5 stars because I give all these 5 stars. But yeah, Rogue Nation.
yeah. I kind of upset I forgot the water scene. Like,
Yeah, so
but
crazy.
my yeah, my number four and my number three is like neck and neck, and maybe like next time I rewatch these could flip around. But my number three is the newest one, Dead Reckoning Part One, and I think this is slightly hard to rate because I guess it's not the full story yet, aka Part One, but I think it still works without seeing the other one, and because it's it kind of has a its separate ending still, but it you kind of clearly see that they're
Yeah,
still going somewhere, and it was a very fun experience to watch it, and like Haley Atwell I think was a great addition, and especially the more time you spent with her, and I think that's that whole scene with the safe car, the yellow smaller car, that was so funny, and when they first didn't handle the driving at all, and they were just spinning around, and the end with the train sequence that is very thrilling, and with all the motorcycle stunt jumping, it was very cool, and I think one thing I'm not exactly sure, at least yet, before seeing part two next year, is like I didn't really find Gabriel the most thrilling villain,
yeah,
and obviously there's something like a personal thing happening with Ethan Hunt and Gabriel. I was when I saw the film, I was starting to think, was Gabriel in some other film, but I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah, he
he
wasn't.
was. But he was fine. But like I think usually with Mission Impossibles, the heroes are the stars of the film, and sometimes the villain is sometimes a bit
Yeah.
like I want to control the world and such. But um, and it's the longest one. It's not the full story, and maybe I kind of like that you have one movie that has the whole. But if it's, I kind of hope. I don't know. Do I hope this to be the last ones? But this is obviously gonna be the biggest one, maybe like over 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish it to be the last, like epic ending.
Yeah, I
But
I I hope so. It's funny because they were like advertising it as good as like the last one. And then just like
yeah,
a month ago, Tom Cruise was like, well, I don't know, maybe there'll be another.
mm,
So
yeah, yeah.
maybe they're changing their minds. I don't know. But yeah, my top two is was so hard. It's so close between these two. Like I really love both of them. My number two, I'm gonna go with Mission Impossible Fallout. And this is one that I think it's so good. It's so good. Like it's like it when I saw it in theaters, I was just so amazed. I feel like it's so much better even than like Rogue Nation, which I also love. But this one is just so I love the I love how just it's just set piece after set piece with the action. Like the bathroom fight is so insane, like with Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise. And I really like Henry Cavill in this. Um, and just the stakes of this, like the finale is so big. It's like maybe the most kind of bombastic and insane one, um, which I like. And I like meeting the White Widow. I think she's a really cool villain in this, and then she shows up again in Dead Reckoning. And I really like Tom Cruise in this, and just all of the pieces really work pretty well for me. And it's just a movie that I really like to watch. So yeah, five stars. I don't have like a ton to say about it because I don't really have like problems with it per se. I just think it rules. But I there's one I just like 1% more. So Fallout number two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My number two is Ghost Protocol. Um, the one I've seen the most. Um, I had this on DVD back in the day, and yeah, I did watch it quite a few times, and yeah, it's a great one. Like it kind of started this um new era of Ghost Mission Impossible films. I kind of forgot this is Brad Bird. I was in my mind. I'm always it's the newest director, but um, yeah, this is very much fun. I love that Simon Beck is now in a bigger role, and he's very funny, especially when he's very nervous or like trying to understand what Ethan is going to do, and one of my favorite Mission Impossible sequences is the um Dubai, the climbing the
Yeah.
windows. I don't know. That is very thrilling and just kind of insane, actually. And yeah, I love that this has a lot of gadgets too, and they use different gadgets. And um, this also has a actually a Finnish actor in this film, Samuli Edelman, who plays the villain's like assistant. I don't remember his name at the moment. Wistrom.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and it's just a cool fact, I guess.
Yeah, cool
Yeah.
detail.
Um Yeah, I'm not also not the biggest fan of Jeremy Renner in these movies, but I think he's kind of like a somewhat of a voice of a reason type of character. Maybe we're not supposed to always like him because he thinks differently than the others.
Yeah.
But I think the sequence where Jeremy Renner have to jump to the and Simon Pegg is going to catch him
Yeah.
is very cool and yeah, I don't know, like there was I wasn't the biggest fan of like I think some delivery of like Paula Patton was a bit could have been maybe more refined, but very minor issues. It's a great watch actually. Like it's a 4.5. Like it's nothing wrong with it. It almost could have been a 5, but in my movie rankings, I have 5 way too high on
Yeah, you
some.
waited a lot. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
get that.
so but you know what? I did just 4.5 is something you could watch anytime still, but
Yeah.
it's not like a masterpiece, maybe. But maybe it's an action masterpiece actually.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
yeah.
someday.
Yeah, my number one then is gonna be Dead Reckoning Part One, the newest one. And I just when I saw this in the theaters, I was just so like my jaw was on the floor the whole time. Like it feels like it's just scene after scene where it's just it fires on all cylinders. Like just thinking through the movie in my head, like you have that the scene like in the airport where he's evading all of the CIA people, which is just so cool. Like they're doing the facial like scrambling and it's fun. And then you've got the car chase with the tiny Fiat 500 and they're like spitting all over the place and he's handcuffed
Yeah,
and it's so fun. And then there's that like crazy party in I guess Venice and like all the action that happens after that with that one assassin lady is crazy in this where she's trying to like kill Ethan with like that pipe and it's just
yeah,
like I feel like at some points the action is like and this in Fallout is like the most brutal action of the series. Like it's very kind of tense. Um, and then finally that whole train sequence, it's just so good. And then when the train is starting to fall and it's just pure suspense. It's so cool. And yeah, it's my number one. I hope it won't be my number one in a year when I see Dead Reckoning Part Two, because I hope I love that one even more, but we'll see. I really love this, and I hope Part Two will be a worthy follow-up.
yeah. Kind of sad that it's not doing as well in box office.
Yeah, that bums me out so bad.
Like I know it's now Barbie versus Oppenheimer,
Yeah,
but I don't know what there was like maybe 2 weeks that you had time to watch it. Like why
yeah,
didn't everyone go? I don't understand.
yeah.
But okay. Um my number one is Fallout, the sixth one, and the one I haven't seen before, and I was very excited watching this. Like just the action was oh jeez, so much fun. I love Henry Cavill in this movie with Tom Cruise, and I think Henry is very funny also, but he's also you're kind of like is he a villain or is he not? And
Yeah.
for like maybe half of the movie, and but like if I'm like kind of thinking, I don't know, does this have a lot different to previous like Rogue Nation Ghost Protocol in a way, but I just I just find oh, the action scenes awesome, and I'm struggling like to remember what was the big stunt in this movie that Tom Cruise made.
Well, he did the like jump out of the plane, and then he did the one where he like
Oh yeah,
caught the thing
yeah,
hanging and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Obviously, those are awesome too. Um, I liked when Julia came along in the end and saw her again, and like, and the fight sequence in the end with Ethan and Henry
So
Cavill's
cool.
character, very cool. Very, with them chasing with the helicopters, and it's very wild. And yeah, and it's kind of follow-ups Rogue Nation 2, which is cool and has some of the same characters, but still is kind of standalone. Still, it's not like a.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are very kind of actually tough to talk about in some ways, but um, they are very enjoyable. And I have this also as 4.5. Like, I would definitely watch it again, and maybe the best modern action franchise we have.
Yeah.
I don't know what to what would be the.
Yeah, I think it's really up there for me. I love all these movies, but yeah. Um I hope everyone enjoyed our ranking. And enjoyed seeing us talk about these movies. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see you next time. Have
yeah.
a good one, guys.
Bye bye.